Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the strategic series on the open files, and in this example I've picked a game between Gligoric and Juric from the year 1984. Very strong grandmasters, especially in those years in the 80s. Gligoric one of the top players for sure. And in this example it's black to move, and again you can pause the video here and try to find some possible moves for black. And there's one plan which is specifically strong for black. As we can see, there is only one open file, which is the H file, and therefore black's strategy should be only about controlling this H file here. White's strategy should be about the same thing as well, but as we can see, his pieces are kind of uncoordinated. The rook on d1 has a hard time to reach this square in h2 because the d2 square is controlled by our bishop. So it's our turn to strike first, and Juric did so by playing rook h7, and he's simply preparing to bring the other rook to h8 and then to seize control along the H file. White played bishop f2, and after rook h8 played king e2. Keep in mind that black has this idea of playing bishop d2 check with this discovery along the H file, potentially winning a lot of material, so that's why he stepped on this light square on e2. And now again, black played very carefully. He played queen e8, which is already hinting that the H file might open up, and then the queen could come and support the rook on h7, for example. If I move the bishop, let's say to f4, white captures on h7, rook captures on h7, and then queen h8 is an idea to support the only rook left on the board. Also something similar like this happened in the game. White played a4, and now bishop f4 was played, and after rook h7, knight d3, rook h2. Now black played queen h8 just to support this rook on h2. And just to mention again, as we can see here, basically the biggest advantage of having the open file is to infiltrate on the second rank or on the first rank, as already discussed in the previous videos. And this often leads to big material gains, also in this game. So after rook h2, queen g1, queen h8 was played, rook f1, and now knight g5. The next piece joins the attack, and now queen h3 is a huge threat, hitting this very weak pawn on f3 here. White took on f4, ef4, played knight b1 with the idea that after queen h3 there is knight d2, simply still kind of hanging on to this pawn here on f3, but black again found another resource. Again, you can think here like this, that all of black's pieces are placed perfectly except for this bishop on a6. So even from that thinking, it makes a lot of sense that black played bishop c8 here, bringing in the bishop, and now there are all sorts of ideas with sacrifices on g4 and f3 first. White is basically in Zugzwang. He played king e1, and now rook g2 wins the game, because after queen h1 there would be knight takes f3 when black is simply winning. So after rook g2 white already resigned. Just to show here bishop c8, if white were to make a zero move, which I just did, I think the threat would be knight takes f3, and bishop takes g4, and white cannot even move this bishop here because of this pin here, and therefore the knight on f3 simply drops off with mate coming pretty soon. So yeah, if there is one open file, there's often the plan is simply to occupy this. Yeah, so here again rook h7 is actually a very simple move, I would argue. Rook h8 is coming. If you can try and control the open file, then it definitely makes sense to do so in most cases. So again, I think a nice example, and also this idea of queen e8 to bring the last heavy piece into the action. And yeah, black won this game also very nicely. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, it would help me out a lot. You can visit me on other social media channels on Instagram, check out my website felixproberger.com, and yeah, until then, see you next time.